Good morning, good morning, everyone. The time now is 5:52 a.m. and I'm doing my new morning walk. And I was thinking about something as I was walking. I was listening to a great prayer sermon, and I enjoyed myself. But one of the things I thought about in that, as they was binding and casting down things, I was like, you know what? They're breaking one of the universal laws. And I know I've been guilty of that too. And then you sit around and you think about, okay, why is this thing that I said, well, I'm believing God for, keep on coming into my life and what have you. But the thing is, resistance in prayer breaks universal laws. What did I say? Resistance in prayer breaks the universal laws. How so? Okay, let me tell you why. Whatever you resist, you persist. But if you pay no attention to it, it has no ability to rise up and come to you, follow you, or anything, or have any type of effect on you. But when you start saying, well, I give power to a certain things and we're going to cast this particular thing down, and you start naming all the things that you don't want, when you start naming all the things that you don't want, that very thing will come to you. Why? Because you're naming it, you're speaking it. You can have what you say, but sometimes it's best not to say a thing. I have a cousin that I think he's possibly in his 60s, 70s or something. And prior to him knowing that he was actually related to me, he really kind of didn't say anything when we was doing like some community events or what have you. And but once he found out that he had the right to correct me through bloodshed, the right to correct me because we're the same lineage. He had the right to correct me because it's bloodline. And although he is a community leader, one day he told me, he gave me the best advice ever. He said, "Shut up." What did I say? He told me. He said, "Shut up." And I could have took offense to that. Oh, my earpiece falling. Oh my goodness. So I'm like walking along in this parking lot because my backyard was a little bit too dark. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get my miles in. I'm not getting in the car and driving to the park this morning. Why? When I got two legs that I can walk on, I can run, and why not use what I have and know that I'm enough? Sometimes you got to use what you got until you can get what you want. You know, and what I want is mm, well, think about it. I'm out here exercising, but nevertheless, I'm not getting ready to digress any further. Especially with the stance of sometimes you have to be quiet, even in prayer. One of the things that when I was growing up, they didn't really teach so much was the power of praying in silence, meaning don't say nothing. The power of paying some things no attention. The power in meditation. You know, if you don't want to have a particular illness, why you gonna call it out in prayer? And you bind it. You pay that shit no attention. Oh, excuse me. You pay that no attention because if you pay it no attention while you're giving thanks and honor, then something else will happen. But the thing that I'm not really talking about that I probably should have said first is that when you're exercising that Hebrews 11 and 1, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So you have to speak the thing that you actually want. What do I say? You have to speak the thing that you actually want. You don't speak the things that you actually see right now. You don't actually speak the thing that you actually is giving you a high water irritation. Because the more that it irritates you and the more you call that thing forth in prayer, the longer it's gonna stay there. It'll be that thorn in your side. Trust me, I've had it. I had something that I was really thinking about for about 10 years. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is this is a thing. I don't want this, I don't want that. But then I started thinking about these universal laws and how I was breaking them in my prayer. And I'm like, how can I keep saying what I don't want and getting power to that instead of looking at what it is that I was desiring. You know, you have to call those things out that be not as though they were. But you can't call them out if you resisting stuff. You have to go with the flow. Just like with water, water has no formation. And why am I bringing that up? Because water can heal, but water can hurt. And sometimes in our prayer life, we hurt ourselves by resisting certain topics, certain situations, and certain elements and calling them forth. You know, especially like when I was listening to, well, I don't want to have this particular health issue that was calling out upon the masses, or I don't want to have this particular financial situation that was calling out for the masses. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. That is out of order, you know. But you know, the way that I was taught is that we're supposed to call those things and start praying against it. But sometimes, as an intercessor, you have to pay that no attention. Why? Because it breaks the universal laws. If you so happen to know the universal laws, it will help you to prosper a whole lot quicker. Whatever you resist will persist. hmm Whatever you resist will persist. So sometimes what you have to do is pay no attention. Because I'm telling you, once I decided to pay that little situation, theme, topic, or inquiry no attention, I felt so much better. I don't even have that situation no more because I gave it no power. I gave it no reference. I gave it no joy. I gave it no, um, there's another way that I can actually say it, but I didn't. And so I'm waving at the people and what have you. How you doing today? Good to see you. And so, like I said, I'm walking in this parking lot because it's so dark. And so I'm just trying to get my exercise on and what have you. But, sometimes in prayer, you have to utilize more of your universal laws than what you've been taught in life. Good morning. How are you? Good to see you. And so, um, in doing so, anything that really getting under your skin, or you got some type of medical, health, financial, or relationship issue, sometimes you pay no attention. You have to see it for what you want it to be. You have to say it for what you want it to be. Because thoughts become things, and as thoughts are becoming things, guess what? You can have what you say. But sometimes, as you saying certain things, you got to learn to shut up. Like my cousin told me. And that way, you won't be drawing that thing that you're casting up or binding down in your prayer. They keep coming and attacking you. In order to be victorious, sometimes you got to stand still. In order to be victorious, sometimes you got to move in silence. In order to be victorious, sometimes you have to see what others don't see. You have to say what others don't say. You have to be what others are not willing to be. In order to have what you want, be who you want, do what you want, you have to resist that thing. You know, I also had a recent conversation this past weekend with someone that felt as though the world was holding a particular person, place, and people down. But nobody can really hold you down without you first thinking about it. You giving attention to it, and you keep uttering it. My mother used to say, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And I used to hate when she said that. Sometimes you can bring enemies to you by focusing on the they. They say this, they say that. You can't resist stuff. If it happened, okay, let it happen. Figure out a way to move on from it. Keep on moving. But if you keep on saying, well, I don't want this and I don't want that, that very thing, I promise you, you will get over and over and over again until you learn the lesson of the universal laws. Whatever you resist will persist. And you know what? I just noticed something. I forgot to kind of look into the mirror, or not. I really look in the mirror, but look into this camera and focus because I'm actually looking at the surroundings around me because it's nighttime and I just want to get my walks in. That's all that is. And but as I'm doing so, also want you all to know that whatever you resist in prayer, it will be breaking the universal laws and will draw that very thing to you that you really don't want. So you have to pay it no attention and see what you want to see, and exercise evidence of things not seen. Okay. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. Not that very thing you're looking at. Then you also got to be like a tree that's planted by the river. You should not be moved. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and continue with my walk and enjoy some music. But I just wanted to try to catch up on some things I was thinking about early in the morning. Because typically I want all my lives to be so perfect. But one of the things I realized, I'm not perfect and I'm not even trying to be. But one of the great things about this, you get better with time. Just like old wine, you know? So, I just want to just encourage you to not to break a universal law of resistance. So until we meet again, my friends, I am Aunt Mary's niece. Bye bye.